Hello everyone, I'm Alvarez and this is Alvarez Metalworks. So today what I have for you is a how-to video. This is brand specific as far as mechanics are concerned. It's for a Nissan WD21 Nissan Pathfinder. This also applies to your Nissan hardbody, four-wheel drive, the WD21 model, as well as your first generation Xteras. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be replacing the strut rod bushing. This is a common bushing to fail on the front suspension. To be honest, when I think of struts, I think of a strut assembly, the shock, the spring, in a typical car or minivan or SUV. That's not what we're working on. You'll see in just a quick second, the strut rod is an actual rod that goes from the lower control arm to the frame. It attaches the 2 points and gives it some load resistance, so when the front tires are being forced back towards the back of the truck, it's that support. The bushing where it attaches to the frame is a very common failure on these trucks. For a number of different reasons. The cups that hold them corrode and will fall off, and just, you know, if you beat up on these trucks and you abuse them, you're gonna have issues with those bushings. So I'm going to show you guys how to replace those. It's not a difficult fix, but it will require a little bit of muscle, some basic hand tools. But let's get to work. Talk to you guys in a few. Okay, everyone. So here's what we got. At least the first tools that you're going to need to remove this bolt and this bolt. The top one is a 19 millimeter. The bottom one is a 22 millimeter. Okay. I'm going to be using my Ingersoll air ratchet. Really like this air ratchet. Came with an impact gun as well that I really like as well. I'll put the link down in the description on where you guys can get this off of Amazon. Again, if you choose to buy it through Amazon, you help me out. Anyway, so I'm just going, there's a nut on the bottom. I'm just going to remove both of those, and then we'll start working on this bigger nut over here. Okay, everyone. Got this first bolt out. Got this one out. Was going to try to show you guys, but it's really cramped to try to get in there. You're going to just be looking at the back of my big head. I'm going to leave that in there. I just thought of something. If you look here at this bar, it's flat on both sides. Because this is so difficult to get a wrench on that big nut that's back there, what I may do is just get a crescent wrench on there and then use a wrench here and twist this out from this side. We'll see. I'm going to get to working on that part right now, and if that's the case, then I'll pull this nut out, or this bolt out. As you can see right now, I just have it sitting in there to keep the strut rod from twisting. So give me a second. I'll be back once I figure out what I'm going to do as far as getting the larger nut off of there. So be right back. Okay, everyone. So here's the nut that I have to remove. I'm looking at this and it's interesting. See how we got some clean threads right here? This thing's been spinning. It's been moving on me. Got a lot of movement up front, but those threads have been moved recently. That's very interesting. So anyway, you can see the massive split in this bushing. So I'm going to, I don't think this crescent wrench that I've got here is going to be big enough for that. Hopefully it is, because it's the smaller of the two. Hold on a second, I'm adjusting it right now. Actually it is. Okay, so I'm going to get this tight on here. And you see how there's like very little room to turn this. Last time I had done this bar that you're looking at here is a torsion bar. Okay, it goes into the lower arm. It will bend. You see it's got some flex to it. So what I was having to do is kind of turn this wrench one way and the other. See right here how I have it one way? Then I was rotating it until it bumped here, and then turning it and pushing on the torsion bar to get it clicked on, and then turning it again. That's how I was doing that. So that's what I'm going to try for now. We'll see how it goes. If everything works out great, we'll be back when it's off. All right, see you in a second. Okay, so I got everything taken apart here. I'm actually on the driver's side. I shot the passenger side video and I decided to reshoot it again on the driver's side just because the passenger side is already installed, and I made some changes to what I had told you that I was going to do to install it. What I found out is if you got a 15/16 box wrench, that'll actually work for the big nut that's on the strut rod. Okay, it's a big nylon thread locking nut here on the strut rod. Plus it was something I wanted to show you on this side. First off, let me show you how the strut rod goes together. You have these washers that are kind of dished. You see that one side's domed. The dome side goes towards the bushing. So you're going to put one on the rod, then you're going to put a bushing, and see these bushings are pretty much shot. These ones are blue, the other side was red. The blue ones are Moog bushings. These ones aren't split necessarily, but they're smashed to hell. Okay, so what you're looking for is the cone side will go in first, okay? Cone side will go in towards the center. So the two cones will sit towards each other like that. Okay, your new bushings will have a metal sleeve. That'll go on. Your bushings actually slide over those. Okay, and then let me put these back on without the sleeve. Assume the sleeve is in there. Then you have your other washer. Again, the cone side of it, I guess, not the dish side, will go towards the bushing. And then you're going to have your big nylon nut like that. And right between here will be this. Okay, you see this sloppy weld? This is something I did with a Harbor Freight 90 amp welder back when I was in Arizona. There's normally a factory plate right here, little kind of a cup type thing that holds these bushings in position. Let me show you here real quick. Basically, they sit in here like this. This right here, this is typically something that rots away. This is very common to rot away on all these Nissan WD-21 Pathfinders and the D21 Nissan hard body 4-wheel drives. Xteras have those too. This is a common thing to rust away. It's real thin metal. It's like about that thin. When it does, you can fix it, but you can't fix it with a dealer part or an AutoZone part or something like that. If you go on Impora, which is Nissan Pathfinder Off-Road Association, the link will be down in the description, or you could just search for that on Google. Do a search on their forum for strut rod bushing, and you should find all the information you need and potentially the part number for this. What this is a bearing race. Somebody decided a long time ago that a bearing race would be a good replacement for that, and basically it's just a cup that holds the bushing in place. Ideally, I would have liked to go with one a little bit smaller than what they recommended. You could always go to like Napa or something and take a bushing in and try to find a bearing race that'll work good, and it welds into place. Okay. Again, that's a common problem. Just wanted to show you guys that. There's one on each side. I believe the one that's on the other side is the factory one on this. I think so. I can't tell. I don't want to climb under there right now. So anyway, that's how that all goes together. That's how you fix that if you have that issue. Now assembly. Now to put this rod on here. Okay, this is what you're going to do. You're going to put the sleeve on. You're going to put the bushing on and the sleeve on and this first washer. You're going to slide this into the control arm like so. And then lift it up into the hole like that. Sorry that I'm trying to hold this and do this with one hand. So it's going to go in here like that. Okay, then you're going to put the other bushing on, the other washer, and the nut on this thing. Okay, and you're going to tighten that up as far as it'll go. What I want to tell you though is when you put this nut on, you don't have to worry about it going too far. The sleeve that goes on here is only going to allow that nut to tighten so far before it hits the sleeve and bottoms out, and it won't thread on no more. Tighten it all the way until it stops. Okay, once you get to that point, what it's going to do is it's going to compress these new bushings. and it's going to pull the rod so it lines up with these bolts a little bit better. If you don't do that, you're going to be fighting a lot to get these bolts in, okay? Because with the new bushings, everything is real tight, and the bolt alignment's going to be off like about a ½ inch. So if you tighten that up and compress those bushings, it'll be real close. Now what I have here is, this is actually a hubcap tool that I had for a Volvo. What I did is I took the end here and I beveled the edge, and I'm using that as an alignment tool. I'm shoving it down in there and pulling it and then dropping a bolt in. Okay, and then I'm actually starting with this back bolt. Okay, I'm dropping this back bolt in first, and then once that bolt's in and threaded, then I'm coming to this front bolt, not tight, just threaded. Then I'm coming to this front bolt from the bottom side, and I'm prying it side to side, okay? Because it'll probably be, the bar will probably be offset up or down like this. It'll be plenty over this way, but up or down like this. What I want to caution you on is do not, and I mean do not, get this part of the tapered bolt, see how it's tapered here, into the strut rod, and then beat it in there with a hammer. You'll destroy these threads, and when you do, you're going to end up fucked. You know, not to be crude, but that's the truth. You can't find these bolts anywhere other than a wrecking yard. So don't ruin your bolts. If you feel like it's just too tight to get in there, you can't get it lined up to shove it in with your hand, thread it in. And what I mean by threading it in is once you're down in there, just start turning it and see if it'll drop down, see if it'll thread itself all the way down. The reason why I say that is because that won't damage your threads. If you bang this in with a hammer, it's going to flat spot all the tops of your threads and you're going to have issues. So that's basically it. So I'm going to try to show you guys the assembly process here a little bit. It's a struggle, and I'm not sure, you know, if I'm going to be in the way of the camera or not. So I'm going to set you guys on the tripod, and we'll try it and see what happens. So, all right, sit tight. Okay, you guys are on the tripod now. One other thing, absolutely get yourself some of this Antiseize. I'll put a link down in the description where you can get this on Amazon. You can find this at any auto parts store though. This is an absolute must. If you work on your own cars, you need to have some of this. If you're especially in an area where they put salt down on the road, this is 100% must. Lug nuts, any bolts that you're going to have to like take off at some point, use this on. Otherwise you're going to have issues with the threads getting rusty and corrode and seize up on you, and this will just save you a lot of trouble. So I'm going to be using a lot of this right now. So first off, here's what I'm going to do. I'm getting rid of that old sleeve. I've got my new bushings and my new sleeve here. So, and the first washer. What I'm going to do before I do install any of that, I'm going to take Antiseize, and I'm going to put it all over this area where the bushing sleeve and all that rides on. The reason why I'm putting it over here and not just on the threads is that sleeve can get seized up on top of this strut rod as well. Okay? When you live in a climate, especially like Syracuse, New York, where you got a lot of salt on the road, moisture and salt are going to get inside of those gaps, and things like that will seize up and basically like weld themselves together with corrosion. So better safe than sorry. So got that all completely coated. Again, the dish side of this washer goes away from the bushing. Okay? Now, I'm going to push the sleeve into one bushing to start with. Remember, the cone side goes towards the center. And then I'm going to put this into that hole, and then I'm going to press this other bushing onto that sleeve, and then get underneath and tighten it up. So, let's try it. If I'm in the way, I'll edit it out. do need that. So I'm having problems here getting this bushing onto that sleeve. So bear with me here. This is the hard part. Taking it off is easy when they're damaged. Installing it's the hard part because these bushings are not flexible, or not very flexible. So you got to fight with them to get them on. Okay, so I got this in here. That was a bit of a pain in the butt. I took off my sway bar between doing the passenger side and the driver's side, and that may have been what the issue was. I had to put the jack underneath the control arm, jack it up a little bit so that I can get a better angle going into this mount here, which allowed me to get the nut on there. Once the nut was threaded on there, just keep tightening it again until it bottoms out. And see how it sucks the rod in quite a bit closer. Now I'm off maybe an 1/8 of an inch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this and shove it into there and force it into place to drop the bolt into here. Actually, I'm going to do that from up here and get that back one in first. So you're just going to be basically prying that around until they get into place. And that's it. Tighten them down and this job is done. So, alright, talk to you guys later. So, I hope that video helped you guys out, or at least a couple of you. I shot this video in early June. It was part of my preparation to the Upstate 4x4 first anniversary run. Upstate4x4.com. That is, I'm the founder of that off-road club. If you guys are from New York or any of the surrounding areas and you like to go four-wheeling, go check out our forum, sign up for it, post some pictures of your ride, let everybody know that you found Upstate 4x4 through this YouTube channel, and say hello. I'm Alvarez Metalworks on that forum as well too, so say hello. Anyway, that was part of my preparation for this run. Everything went great during the run, up until the late night right before we went home the next day. We went and decided to do some night wheeling and caused some damage. I must have hit a rock or something I couldn't see, and I pretty much wadded up my torsion bar adjuster. So you'll see a video in the near future of that repair and that whole process. Again, it's an older video, but I wanted to bring you guys this new format before I started uploading a lot of the content that I had already shot. I knew I had all the lighting and the green screen and everything ready to go. It just took me some time. So anyway, so you're going to see a little bit, for a while on my channel, you're going to see a little bit of old videos. They're new to you, but stuff that I've already recorded. But we'll get back on to current times here shortly. So, Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it helped you out. Like always, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me, if the video helped you out. Let me know what you think of the new format. And don't forget to check out the links in the description. I'll have a link to upstate4x4.com, as well as alvarezmetalworks.com, and the Facebook pages for both of those. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.